Thank you so much for the opportunity to come before you all. Again, this is like my favorite committee. Truly, it is my favorite.
You say that to all the committees.
No. Trust me. I believe in giving credit where credit is due. And I look at the committee and I see some grand individuals and individuals that I consider friends, genuine friends. I'm here today with regards to House Bill 5354. It's a House resolution. It's creating a special legislative commission to study the health and safety impact of revising commercial sexual activity laws. Now, I am confident that the title alone of this House resolution for a study commission have drawn concerns to maybe a couple of yous. I won't say all of yous. But I want to just say to you that, Representative Almeida, please take your seat. Where are you going? I want everybody to hear, including you, please. Thank you. I want to assure you that this is a study commission. This is something for conversation. This is a topic that needs to be discussed, needs to be talked about. Grown folks conversation. And for some folks, some grown folks, it's a squirmy-ish topic, sex. Now, we all like it. I know there's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. But I don't think there are enough of us bold enough, open enough to talk about it. Openly talk about it. Have a grown folks conversation about these topics. Just to derail a little bit, when it comes to conversation about race, many of you don't want to talk about it openly. You prefer to talk about it in your comfort zone. I'm asking you to please not only listen to me and others that are here to present the information, very important information, factual information to you about this study commission. But I'm asking you to hear what is being said. Many times we tentatively sit down and give a little smile and make believe. But I'm asking you respectfully today to hear what is being presented to you. We often react after the fact. I consider Rhode Island one of those states. After something happens, many of us run to the forefront to try to come up with a solution or something to address it. That is not the proper way to do things. We need to be ready at all times. At least try our best to be ready. Now, I don't want you to be afraid to discuss this. I've talked to a couple of my colleagues with regards to, let's have a dialogue. I want to hear your thoughts and your opinion, your belief, your way of life with regards to this subject. I guarantee you this is not a slippery slope. In no way, shape, or form. When talking to one of my kids trying to explain the concept, the intent, the response was, "You're talking about friends with benefits." Oops, is that what it's called? But that was an inside family joke. But this commission is going to look at several areas. And for me, there's not going to be no holds barred. And what I mean by that is I want to hear it all. I want to hear, but I also want you all to listen and hear what the experts have to say. I want you to listen carefully. But I also ask you to please ask the questions. I don't care how embarrassing they are, because I'm confident that there may be, or there are, constituents of yours who have these questions that may be burning on your lips, but you're concerned about saying or asking them simply because you're concerned about what you're going to be perceived to be. What type of person? What is this? Why would he act? Is he or she doing this? What's going on? So I say all that just to say to you, no question, as our teachers used to say, is a foolish question. I have, as an elected official, as a woman in the community, I have seen the shift of law enforcement behind prostitution, behind the acts and or the treatments of law enforcement on women. But more so the hardship and the ill treatment on women of color. All the time. I grew up seeing it. I still see it today. What did I just say? We react. Don't we have legislation addressing what some officers have been doing to women that have been picked up, and before they get to the station? Look, we know the real deal, but we need to should be mature enough to talk about it. We just can't just overlook it because it's a sexual conversation. We need to talk about this. I know that also a concern with regards to having this conversation, it is been perceived and presented that human trafficking is going to be given the approval of occurring. I am very concerned about human trafficking. The women, the men, transgender, our teenagers, our little kids, trust me. But we cannot continue to address those things after the fact or come up with policies to deal with that situation at hand. We need to work on solutions that's going to address these problems or concerns long term. So in order to be able to come up with some sound solutions, we have to talk about them. Pro and con, good or bad, men and women. We need to bring it out on the table and discuss it. I would even take the risk to say I don't think any of you that are listening to me right now here in this room are prudes. And I'm not asking to be inside of your household, your bedroom, your closet, or your automobile, whatever makes you float your boat. No, not I. It's your stuff. But you have to understand that it's a conversation that needs to be had. And this commission is going to bring the facts. It's going to bring the facts to the table so that we can address the issues head on. We won't have to assume. Now, we may not get it right 100%, but by talking about it, by presenting the facts, by definitely looking at the issue head on, we will be able to come up with sound solutions. I know that when we talk about marginalizing individual, oftentimes because it doesn't affect, I'll say the majority of you, the only one who probably have been in that category would be Representative Almeida. So because of that, or one of those things, being marginalized, being put to the side, being categorized as less than by virtue of being a person of color. Worse if you're a woman of color. So, by virtue of not having that direct on-hand experience, if you hear it from those that have had that direct impact and experience, you get to learn something. But it's not a one-way street, because your assumption that may have been in the past now becomes important, because you would share that information to that person who's sharing theirs with you. No one, absolutely no one, should be afraid of having a study commission. How many of them that they're always putting forth in this General Assembly? We come up with study commission all the time. This is not an ask to pass a bill to legalize prostitution in the state of Rhode Island. This is a bill, this is a resolution that I'm asking for so that we can present factual documentation on prostitution, on sex, on human trafficking here in the state of Rhode Island. When we talk about let's do a commission to study the disparity on race, anytime it comes about anything to do with real life situation in the community of color, in the low income communities, and the injustice in those communities, it's not even a second thought. It's always put forth for study commission. Well, this is no different. This is an area that we need to also study. I'm saying to you all, there are some experts that are from different states that are going to come before you, even as far as New Zealand, that have been dealing with this matter, the expert, 32 years. That's about how old I am, but nevertheless, the individuals that are going to come before you are coming with facts from other states that are also dealing with this situation. We should not be left out because we are sensitive to talk publicly about something that's really happening and it's been happening in our state for years. Now, again, I will say to you, please keep an open mind to everything that's going to be brought forward here today. And to also remember that this is a study commission so that we all can become more educated on the facts that's occurring today in our state. This is only one of many things we need to be talking like grown folks. But this is what I'm asking you to please consider, to listening to the facts. Thank you. Oh,
Thank you, Chairman Williams.
let me just also
Sure.
add, the Attorney General is also supportive of participating in reviewing all of the factual information So it's not just us.
Okay, thank you. Any questions of the sponsor? Yes.
I just want to be put on the record. I support this. I recommend passage, and please try to get me out of this commission. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative.